Hello. I'd really like to say something about the Toulouse killings in France of March 2012. I seem to recall, especially in France, that every time there's a general election, there's some kind of event carried out by a supposedly right-wing person, which makes the nationalists there look bad. This does seem to happen a lot during elections. Every time there's an election, something happens within nationalist parties or is done by a supposedly nationalist person, which reflects badly on nationalists. Isn't it about time that, for the sake of democracy and the will of the people, we woke up to this obvious series of coincidences that just keep happening? Shouldn't we recognize, if we ever want to get what we want out of an election, instead of being manipulated by forces that are unseen, probably hiding in plain view actually, shouldn't we realize that every time there's an election, something happens that makes the nationalists look bad? Why would nationalists wait until the worst possible moment to make themselves look bad? It's very suspicious, isn't it? Don't you wonder why it's always at the time of elections the nationalists act stupid and make themselves look bad? Because if I were at all interested in democracy and in the will of the people, I would be very interested as to why a perfectly acceptable political persuasion is continually set up to look bad at the time of elections. We have mandates from the people. We've had them in the past, and we're gaining them more and more now, especially across Europe. And the only reason that things keep going wrong is because it's always at election times that something happens. Do you really think nationalists across Europe are as dumb as that? Do you really think that there's something inherent in nationalists that makes us that dumb? Because that would be racist. You know, it's not racist to want to keep what's yours. It's not racist to like the life you produce for yourself and to want to keep what's yours. I mean, you make your bed and you lie in it. You make your coffee or tea how you like it, and that's how you drink it. You make your own life and you want your own life. You don't want someone to come along and say, oh, I like what you've done with that. I think I'll have some of that. It's my right. And I'll fight you for my rights if you don't give me what I want. It's not unreasonable to dislike an attitude that's hostile towards you if you don't accommodate whoever's giving you that attitude. You know, it's perfectly normal just to want to keep the life that you make for yourself. We all would like to have a life that we make for ourselves. We've got the opportunity now in France. The French have the opportunity. It's general election time there. So for goodness sake, I really hope they're not the population isn't so horrified that they're just thrown by these killings. I hope they have enough self-recollection and calm and cool to assess the situation with a critical and intelligent eye and realize that once again something has happened at election time to make the nationalists look bad. This is against democracy. It's anti-democratic. It's against the will of the people. And whoever has done this, in my opinion, is probably an agent of the powers that be. You know, the powers behind the throne kind of thing. Whoever's in control. Maybe the ruling party in France, the secret services in France. This is not silly, you know. A lot of people think the CIA in America killed John Lennon, or was somehow responsible for his death. A lot of people think that the CIA killed Kennedy. Some people think the war on drugs is actually it actually involves the American government selling drugs in some way. Someone called Alex Jones believes that. On Infowars.com, you could have a look at his theories there, or you can check him out on YouTube. Nationalism is a perfectly popular way of life. A lot of countries close their borders to foreigners. Italy's done that a lot. Italy is much less welcoming to foreigners than the UK. Plenty of countries in Africa restrict immigration a lot. China is very careful about who it lets in, so is Russia. We all know the stories about how Russia was very careful about who it let in for a long time. You couldn't even visit as a tourist properly. You know, they controlled you everywhere you went. They spoke one lot of philosophy and practiced another. And now we have in France a series of killings that are very bloody, killings of children. So who's responsible? I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it were the left. Either the left or, I don't know, okay, capitalists who want to rule the world, who want to globalize and end up owning everything. Maybe. Okay, so, I don't know who it was, but I don't think nationalists would again. I don't think they ever were that stupid as to mess things up for themselves at election time, especially when they're doing so well. The Front Nationale, the National Front in France, was doing really very well. It was pretty much the second party, second runner. Not the socialist guy. The socialist guy was coming first, I think. Then the Front Nationale was, and then Sarkozy was actually coming up third. You know, so maybe Sarkozy did it. I don't think it would be the Front Nationale. They were doing so well. Why on earth would they wreck it for themselves? They wouldn't. I don't think they did it. I don't think any nationalist in France did that. I think it was an agent. I can't say who it was. I don't know who it was. But it was an agent of some party other than the nationalists. The nationalists were doing too well to wreck it for themselves, even if there were any of them that had any aggressive feelings towards anybody. None of them would have been so stupid as to ruin how really well they were doing. So let's not refuse to discuss nationalist issues in France. Let's not be manipulated by these people into refusing to discuss nationalist issues, because that would be giving them what they want. If we really want to not be manipulated by violent people, if we really want to democratically decide what we want for ourselves, that many other people have, which is our democratic right, not a bad thing, then let's discuss nationalist issues and let's vote for the Front Nationale if we want to. To help make this happen, please spread the word on YouTube and elsewhere, like in French newspapers, if you can speak French, or if you can translate from Babelfish or whatever, Google Translate, whatever, as I'm going to do, to tell people that if they refuse to discuss nationalist issues now, then they will be being manipulated by whoever did this. Because whoever did this wants to stop nationalism, probably across the world. They're probably globalists, capitalists who want to rule the world. And if we want to free ourselves from their terrorism and their oppression and their manipulation, we should discuss anything we want to discuss at election time and not be stopped from using complete freedom of speech as much as we like. And that includes discussing nationalism and voting nationalist, if that's what we want to do. Thank you for watching.